You want the honest line? You'll hear a lot of fairy tales where people say they woke up rich. Here's the realer truth. I almost lost everything 3 times. And the last time I almost lost it all, I made the decision that turned pocket change into a business that would clear 7 figures. If you listen carefully, you'll hear the moment I realized how tiny choices become irreversible tides. This is the story of Arbor, how a lonely garage, a $50 bike repair, and an obsession with the word useful turned into something millions of strangers would pay for. I'm the kid who always fixed stuff. Broken lamp? I'd tape it. Laptop hinge loose? I'd order the part and stay up fixing it. I earned my first $20 by offering to clean my neighbor's gutters when I was 15. I learned 2 rules young. People will pay to not do the small, annoying things. If you can make something slightly better than what people already have, people will choose convenience over perfection. By the time I was 24, I had a pile of short gigs, $320 in a savings account, and a crushing student loan payment that looked straight out of a horror film. I moved back into my parents' garage because rent downtown would have swallowed me alive. The garage smelled like oil and old soccer cleats, perfect for scheming. My laptop had a sticky enter key. My Wi-Fi cut out if the neighbor microwaved popcorn. I didn't have a plan. I had a curiosity and one stupid obsession: make things people actually use. One night, I watched a video about kitchen waste, how households throw out millions of dollars in food because lids leak or containers warp. The host mentioned a simple silicone lid that could replace PVC wrap. It was modest, cheap, practical. I scribbled in a cheap notebook: silicone lids, cheap, durable, sustainable, not sexy, but necessary. The thing about necessity is this: it doesn't go viral for looks. It goes viral for repeat use. For moms who will buy it 5 times, for Airbnb hosts who will stock it in dozens of units, for the restaurants who want cheap durability. I imagined a line of beautiful, practical, sustainable kitchen basics. No veneers, no hype. Just design that flatly solved the daily annoyances. I had $320. I needed a prototype. I had to get creative. I bought a cracked bike wheel from a garage sale and sold it on Craigslist for $60. I fixed the neighbor's lawnmower for $40. I sold some used textbooks. I pawned my old headphones for $25. Every embarrassing, tiny hustle dragged another $20, another $50 into the account. Within 4 weeks, I had $520. That was my entire research and sample budget. Part 2, First Product, First Sale. How you start with almost nothing. The first step was not to manufacture 1 million lids. It was to prove that someone would pay for one. I found a small silicone molding shop in a nearby industrial park. They took family orders on the side, old guys with coffee cups and a cigarette in the corner. For $400, they could make a small silicone mold for 1 lid. That left me $120 for the first batch, 50 lids. I packaged them in plain craft paper. Hand-stamped the logo with a cheap rubber stamp I made from a craft store. The boxes looked like an indie soap company. Ugly but honest. I listed 5 prototypes on a local online marketplace, priced aggressively, $9 each. I wrote the listing the way a friend would explain the lid to another friend. Stops food waste. Fits multiple pots. Dishwasher safe. No buzzwords. No disrupt. Just utility. The first 3 sold in 48 hours. The third buyer messaged me. My grandma hated learning gadgets. She loves this. Understanding your one happy customer matters more than 1,000 impressions. That message was my North Star. From local markets, I moved to small co-op stores. I asked one owner, a woman with a scar on her knuckle, if she'd try the lids. She did. She stacked them next to artisanal honey jars. 10 lids sold in a weekend. The store owner liked them because returns were almost non-existent. People kept the product. When I had a proof, real cash and repeated orders, I opened a tiny Shopify store. It looked amateur. I didn't care. The key metric wasn't how pretty it was whether people came back to buy a second lid because they lost one, or bought 3 because they liked the colors. This was how you start with nothing. Find one problem. Make a tiny, working solution. Sell it to the people who broke the thing you fixed. Part 3. The Reddit moment and the first scaling. Content meets commerce. You know how small fires become communal bonfires? Mine got one push from Reddit. I posted a small before-after in a cooking subreddit. No marketing, just a clean photo of my lid keeping pie fresh in a glass dish. It wasn't sexy, but somebody wrote a long comment about how stupid simple things save my life. That comment hit r/kitchen hacks. Traffic spiked. For a week, I had more orders than I expected. My little mold shop called and asked to double production. People left 5-star reviews saying the lids saved them money on food waste. 2 learnings became crystal clear overnight. Content drives trust. A real photo from a real person was worth 10 pro ads. People wanted relatability. Inventory squeeze is the killer. If you can't deliver quickly, social proof turns to disappointment. I needed to scale without losing the soul of the brand. So I spent my next $2,000 on better production, better packaging, and the first ad set on Facebook. I learned the simplest, most important ad rule. Test, measure, double down on winners. Ads are not magic, they're experiments. My conversion on a good picture plus a short how-to-use video, 6%. My CAC, customer acquisition cost, hovered at $12 for a $24 product. Profit was thin but real. I started a small content schedule, user photos, short life hacks, and honest posts about the first manufacturing mistakes. People loved the behind the scenes. The brand felt human. That human voice fed the funnel. Social to Shopify to repeat purchases to word of mouth. Emphasis. You don't need a viral billion-dollar idea. You need repeat customers. Part 4. The Amazon decision and the pivot, where most people trip up. I resisted Amazon for a long time. Amazon eats margins. Amazon demands volume. Amazon changes its rules mid-flight. But there was a pattern. Retailers loved the product. Moms loved it. Airbnb hosts were ordering 10 at a time. If someone searched silicone lids on Amazon, they'd find 3,000 options, but rarely well-designed ones. Amazon was where people looked for solutions. I registered an Amazon seller account. I moved 2,000 units to FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, to test search demand and buy box dynamics. The first month on Amazon, nightmares. My listing got suppressed because my barcodes were non-standard. I misjudged shipping timelines and Amazon slapped me with a storage fee. I lost money on a bad PPC pay-per-click campaign. But then, 2 things happened. A small influencer posted a demo on Instagram and linked to the Amazon listing. The listing popped into Amazon's algorithm. I optimized the product title, added proper keywords, and improved photography to show use cases, not just the product. Orders tripled in month 3 on Amazon. The FBA logistics handled returns and shipping. That let me focus on product development and brand. Insert pause. This is where businesses go from hobby to operation. With FBA, I could finally ship at scale. But it also meant I had to think in months, not weeks. I had to forecast demand for a marketplace that we didn't own. Important, realistic note, because Reddit sellers will tell you the truth. Margins on Amazon compress. You win on volume and bundling and ownership of a niche. You don't win by copying the marketplace sloppily. Short, emphatic. If you do Amazon, track costs religiously. Part 5, Product Line and the Viral Holiday, Leverage Your Niche. After the Amazon ignition, I realized the brand could be more than lids. People loved solutions that reduced friction. Reusable paper towels, compostable scrubbers, stackable containers. The eco angle opened a narrative. I expanded product SKUs carefully. 2 new lids, different sizes, a compost bowl, and a silicone collapsible colander. Each product answered the same question. Can we make a simple household pain point disappear? The products had shared parts, shared packaging, and a shared manufacturing partner. This reduced complexity. December's holiday season was the literal booster rocket. Short pause. We launched a holiday bundle, Arbor Starter Kit. Lids plus compost bowl plus a small how-to booklet about reducing kitchen waste. I ran targeted ads to audiences who saved recipes and followed cooking accounts. I used Amazon's sponsored brand ads to push the bundle. Influencers with small but loyal followings did honest demos. No flashy celebrities, just people who cooked, survived small apartments, and cared about less plastic. Revenue that month hit 5 figures. Profit, enough to pay ourselves modest salaries for the first time. We hired 1 remote customer support agent, part-time. Emphasis: the holidays aren't magic, they're accelerants. Prepare inventory, prepare logistics. Part 6, Team, Systems, and the First Ugly Fight. How growth forces governance, revenue forced the next phase. Team and operations. I'm not going to romanticize. Growing is a slog. The garage that once felt like freedom began to smell like late nights and mislabeled spreadsheets. I hired 2 people, Lila, customer support and community, and Omar, supply chain manager. They were lean and brilliant. Leela turned angry emails into long-term customers. Omar negotiated smaller MOQ, minimum order quantities, and better shipping terms. We instituted simple systems, inventory planning spreadsheets with buffer stock, weekly PPC review meetings, a small product roadmap board taped to the wall. And then, because humans are human, we fought. Our first dust-up was about packaging. I wanted recycled cardboard with minimal ink. Omar said the supplier warned higher damage rates. Lila pointed out that Instagram unboxing mattered. Prettier packaging increased AOV, average order value. We argued until 1 a.m. We slept on it. The compromise: sturdy craft packaging, a small printed insert that told the product story, and recycled tissue paper. It cost us a little more, but customer retention improved. Growth forced structure, roles, accountability, SOPs, and with structure came velocity. Part 7, the first major crisis, inventory shock and learning to forecast. Year 2 brought popularity and the classic e-commerce killer, an inventory shortage during a spike. A viral TikTok from a camping influencer recommending Arbor led to an unexpected spike in Europe. My supplier's factory had a Chinese New Year shutdown, and we misjudged lead time. Suddenly, Amazon's inventory ran low. Our listings dropped in rank. Competitors appeared. copycats with cheap products and lower prices. I learned the brutal lesson. Inventory is the engine. If it stalls, everything else crumbles. We scrambled, rushed a small shipment by air freight, expensive, offered coupons to loyal customers, and communicated honestly on social channels. The community responded better than we expected. Many waited, some pre-ordered. We learned that transparency, not PR spin, keeps loyal customers. We also improved forecasting, better seasonal models, safety stock buffers, and prepping for one-off influencer spikes by having a 30% safety margin. Short pause. The crisis cost us margin, but saved our reputation. We survived because of systems and because of people, customers who believed in the brand. Part 8. The pivot to B2B and scaling margins, the smarter route. Retail margins on Amazon capped our profit potential. To scale sustainably, we needed higher margin channels. We pitched small eco-hotels and boutique vacation rental management companies. The idea: long-term wholesale contracts for bulk units, branded options, and subscription resupplies. B2B margins were kinder. Contracts of 500-plus units with monthly shipments stabilized demand. We traded glamorous direct-to-consumer launches for steady purchase orders, lower marketing, CAC, predictable revenue, and easier inventory planning. One contract with a boutique hospitality chain, 150 properties, became a game changer. They ordered kits for each unit and set up an automatic reorder every 3 months. It wasn't sexier than influencer virality, but it was the grease that made the machine spin. Emphasis: diversify channels. Amazon is a great customer, but B2B gives stability. Part 9. Building content and community. How we owned our audience. We never stopped building content. The truth is simple. People buy from brands they trust. Trust comes from consistency. Lila built the Arbor community, a newsletter with real tips, user stories, and monthly challenges, e.g., No Waste Week. We created an ambassador program, small creators who wrote sustainable kitchen tips and used Arbor products in real life. Every month, we featured a kitchen fix video, 90 seconds, filmed on a phone, demonstrating a practical kitchen tip using Arbor items. Those videos converted like magic because they were honest, not scripted. Content lowered CAC. It made our ads more efficient. It created recurring buyers. Short pause. Repeat customers were the financial oxygen of the business. The LTV, lifetime value, of an engaged customer, someone who followed the newsletter, bought twice a year, recommended a friend, was 4 times the LTV of a first-time bargain hunter. We measured everything: email open rates, repeat purchase rates, refund reasons. We treated our data like a living thing. Part 10. The first $1 million year and what it really felt like. The rough math. Averaged across channels with wholesale and DTC combined, we crossed $1 million in revenue in month 18 of serious scaling. Not profit. Revenue. Important pause. People will throw the big headline numbers around. I made $1 million. And you'll read it in headlines. But you need to understand the truth behind it. We had months of negative cash flow. We negotiated payment terms and extended factories' lead times. We worked with a fractional CFO to refinance inventory lines. Profit margins were finally comfortable in year 3. Crossing that revenue number didn't erase the late nights. It simply validated that other people were finding value in what we built. We celebrated by buying everyone on the team a small dinner and a cheap cake that read 1M, not glamorous, perfect. Emphasis. Revenue is not the same as freedom, but it's a proof point. Part 11. The Scaling Playbook. Practical, repeatable moves. If you want the condensed playbook I used, this is the tactical heart for anyone listening. Start small. Solve one problem. Ship minimal units. Get paying customers. Test markets, local markets, small retailers, marketplaces, Amazon. Improve the product. Use feedback to iterate every 2 weeks. Leverage content, real people, real use cases, short tutorials, diversify channels, DTC, marketplaces, wholesale, B2B. Build systems, inventory planning, SOPs, and a small team with clear ownership. Forecast and buffer. Always assume lead times will lengthen unexpectedly. Own your community. Newsletter and ambassadors beat cold ads over time. Part 12. The Dark Moment. Almost losing it all. Month 34. A competitor, well-funded and with a slick design team, launched a near-identical lid with a celebrity endorsement. Our Amazon rank slipped. Some of our wholesale clients got cold feet. A PR piece spun a false narrative about cheap silicone flooding the market. Orders fell. Our line of credit was stretched. I slept 3 hours a night. My panic meter was pegged. Then we made a decision. We leaned into what had never left us: authenticity. We launched a community repair program. If a product failed because of normal wear, we replaced it for free and sent a short survey about usage. We created a repair guide video showing how to care for silicone products to maximize life. We doubled down on B2B hospitality contracts. Those customers needed reliability more than Instagram hype. We also negotiated with our former supplier to co-develop a slightly improved formulation that had better heat resistance. It cost us margin, but it created a differentiator. Slowly, the tide turned. The competitor's celebrity moment faded. Our customers responded when we showed up with honesty and action. Emphasis. In crisis, do 2 things: fix the system and talk to people. Part 13. Exit options and growing beyond. The end game. By year 5, Arbor was growing at a steady clip. Healthy gross margins, recurring wholesale contracts, and a loyal DTC audience. Offers came in. Acquirers that wanted the brand to plug into their portfolio. We negotiated. I remember the quiet meeting with the team. The offer was life-changing. Enough to make student loans irrelevant, to buy my parents a new house, and to fund a philanthropy for small makers. But money isn't a morality play. The question was, what kind of future do we want for Arbor? A brand that becomes a pawn in a private equity portfolio, or a brand that keeps making useful products and employing people who cared? We negotiated a partial acquisition, a strategic partner that purchased a majority stake but kept the team intact and guaranteed Arbor's sustainability commitments. I stayed on as CEO for 2 more years. We used the capital to expand into Europe, build a small testing lab, and set up a maker grant to help small sustainable inventors. Short, reflective pause. The exit didn't feel like a collapse or a victory. It felt like a hinge. For us, it was the chance to secure the mission and scale responsibly. Part 14. What I want you to keep from this final motivator. If you take nothing else, take 3 things. Start tiny. The biggest companies began as prototypes that barely worked. They iterated. They survived. Value is repetition. If someone buys once because they were fooled, they don't come back. If they come back because it works, you have momentum. Humanity wins. Brands succeed when people feel seen. That's not a tactic, it's a character trait. Emphatic pause. You don't need a huge war chest to start. You need curiosity, a willingness to be embarrassed in public, and the stubbornness to try again. I still wake up some mornings terrified. I still check inventory dashboards like a sleeping person checks a baby monitor. But I also watch videos from customers who say the product helped them stop wasting food. And in those moments, the math of sleepless nights becomes worth it. Closing, echoing the hook. You asked for the truth. I almost lost everything 3 times. But the last time I almost lost it all, I turned on the lights in a room where other people were already waiting. That's how pocket change became a system. That's how a garage idea became something that helped people, one simple lid at a time, to waste less, cook more, and live with fewer things breaking their day. If you want the spreadsheets, the technical supplier emails, the exact ad copy that worked, say the word. I'll send them. But for now, know this. Start small. Fix one pain. Sell it. Repeat. And maybe, one day, you'll be the person who shows someone else how to start. That's all I can say for now. Thanks for being here. I hope it kept you on the edge. Hit subscribe. This could be the last time we meet. New stories drop daily, if I make it to tomorrow.